President Sisi and First Lady host a dinner at the pyramids for Spain's King Philip VI and Queen Letizia during the state visit. At Egypt's Spain Business Forum, King Philip VI highlights strong partnership and over 60 Spanish firms active in Egypt, boosting trade and development. And Egypt and Spain launch groundbreaking partnership for development agreement for 2025-2030, marking first major cooperation initiative. These were the headlines. The news in detail. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and First Lady Intisar al-Sisi have hosted a dinner at the pyramids in honor of King Philip VI and Queen Letizia of Spain during their state visit to Egypt. The president welcomed the king, highlighting the visit as a boost to the strategic partnership between Egypt and Spain. The king expressed gratitude for the warm hospitality and praised the productive talks that will strengthen bilateral ties, especially in economy, culture and education and tourism. Following the dinner, the Egyptian leaders took the Spanish royal couple on a tour of the pyramids and the Sphinx, sharing insights into Egypt's rich heritage. Egypt's Prime Minister hosted King Philip VI of Spain during his official visit, highlighting the deepening strategic partnership between the two countries. They discussed expanding cooperation in investment, infrastructure, tourism and trade. King Philip VI praised Egypt's regional role and expressed solidarity on the Palestinian issue, supporting a two-state solution and humanitarian aid to Gaza. Both leaders condemned forced displacement and emphasized peace and stability. Madbouli welcomed Spain's stance and reiterated Egypt's commitment to strengthening bilateral ties. At Egypt's Spain Business Forum in Cairo, King Philip VI highlighted the strong partnership between the two countries, with over 60 Spanish firms active in Egypt contributing to trade and development. He praised joint projects like the new administrative capital and the Grand Egyptian Museum and stressed growing cooperation in tourism, sustainability and technology. The king called for continued collaboration in digital transformation, energy and training, affirming Spain's support for Egypt's economic reforms and welcoming expanding investment opportunities. The Egypt-Spain Business Forum has opened in Cairo with Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli and King Philip VI of Spain attending. Madbouli described Spain's visit as a milestone, marking a new strategic partnership aimed at deepening cooperation in economic investment and development sectors. He referenced the February Madrid meeting between President Sisi and Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez, which strengthened ties between the two nations. Madbouli also highlighted Egypt's recent economic reforms and infrastructure progress, which have helped boost growth and attract foreign investments. Egypt and Spain pledged to expand economic cooperation at the Egypt-Spain Business Forum in Cairo, attended by King Philip VI and Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli. Investment Minister Hassan Al-Khatib said bilateral trades hit $3.1 billion in 2024, with 900 million euros in Spanish investments figures Egypt's aim to double. He highlighted opportunities in renewable energy, transport, water, agriculture, and digital economy. Al-Khatib also reaffirmed Egypt's goal to rank among the world's top 50 investment destinations within 2 years, driven by infrastructure growth and private sector engagement. And Israel has begun striking southern Lebanon. The Israeli army said its air force has begun striking Hezbollah military sites across southern Lebanon. The Israeli occupation army has launched a series of attacks targeting Hezbollah military positions in Lebanon. Israeli warplanes bombed a house in Mais al-Jabal, located in southern Lebanon. Notably, the Israeli shelling struck areas away from the immediate front line of the Lebanese-Israeli border. These aggressive actions have triggered significant waves of civilian displacement in the border regions, adding to the growing humanitarian concerns in the area. The attacks come shortly after the military said it plans to attack southern Lebanon and called on residents in at least 3 areas to flee. And in an urgent and striking note, Israel has begun striking southern Lebanon. The Israeli army said its air force has begun striking Hezbollah military sites across southern Lebanon. The Israeli occupation army has launched a series of attacks targeting Hezbollah military positions in Lebanon. Israeli warplanes bombed a house in Mais al-Jabal, located in southern Lebanon. Notably, the Israeli shelling struck areas away from the immediate front line in the Lebanese-Israeli border. These aggressive actions have triggered significant waves of civilian displacement in the border regions, adding to the growing humanitarian concerns in the area. The attacks come shortly after the military said it plans to attack southern Lebanon and called on residents in at least 3 areas to flee. Right back to our bulletin, and Egypt and Spain have launched a groundbreaking partnership for development agreement for 2025-2030, marking the first major cooperation initiative. The agreement aims to boost economic ties and deepen collaboration in key areas, including sustainable growth, food security, women's empowerment, climate change, and water management. Mr. Rania Mashat highlighted that this program is a global milestone for Spain's development agency and aligns with Egypt's Vision 2030 and the UN SDGs. The partnership will involve bilateral, trilateral, and multilateral efforts with strong monitoring mechanisms. A joint committee will oversee the implementation, ensuring sustained cooperation and shared progress. In line with strengthening Egyptian-Spanish cooperation and coinciding with the official visit of the King and Queen of Spain to Egypt, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Industry and Transport Kamil Al-Wazir has witnessed the signing of 3 contracts with Spain's CAF company to maintain 23 trains on Cairo Metro Line 1 and upgrade 39 trains on Line 2. The work will be carried out entirely in Egypt with over 95% local labor funded in Egyptian pounds. Upgrades include extending train life by 20 years and a 10-year maintenance plan to improve reliability and reduce breakdowns. This move supports Egypt's plan to expand sustainable urban transport and enhance public transit, aligned with President Sisi's vision. El-Wazir also met with Spain's State Minister for Trade, praising her role in facilitating the agreements and emphasizing ongoing cooperation with Spanish companies in transports and industry. Spain's King Philip VI has met with Egypt's Senate Speaker Abdel Wahab Abdelrazak and House Speaker Hanafi Gibali in Cairo, emphasizing the desire to strengthen parliamentary ties and mutual understanding. The king praised Egypt's rich history, its strategic role in regional security, and the strong Spain-Egyptian parliamentary relations. He reaffirmed Spain's support for enhanced ties with Middle Eastern countries, especially Egypt. Both Egyptian speakers commended Spain's firm support for the Palestinian cause, rejecting Israeli actions in Gaza and the occupied territories, and appreciated Spain's backing of Egypt in international forums. King Philip also lauded Egypt's mediation efforts in Gaza and called for unified international action to end the conflict and ensure humanitarian aid access. The Egyptian Red Crescent announced today the launch of the 40th convoy of Zad al-Izza from Egypt to Gaza, carrying a number of trucks loaded with urgent humanitarian aid heading to the Gaza Strip. The convoy includes more than 80,000 food baskets, tons of flour, as well as medical and relief supplies. This comes as part of Egypt's ongoing efforts to provide food and humanitarian support to the people of Gaza. Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati discussed with his Qatari counterpart Mohammed bin Abdulrahman the developments in the Gaza Strip and assessed the grave consequences of the Israeli operation in Gaza. The Qatari Foreign Minister expressed his gratitude for Egypt's supportive stance towards Qatar following the brutal Israeli aggression against Doha, reflecting the brotherly ties and strong relations between the two countries. Egyptian Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati discussed developments in the Gaza Strip, the Iranian nuclear file, and joint coordination to de-escalate tensions in the region with U.S. presidential envoy Steve Witkoff. Minister Abdulati emphasized the urgent need to put an end to the ongoing Israeli military operations in Gaza, highlighting the severe humanitarian consequences for the population of the Strip as a result of these actions. He also underscored the grave danger posed by Israeli plans advocating for displacements. Egypt's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Industry and Transport Kamel Al-Wazir has met with Gambia's new Defense Minister Baboucar Osmalia Diouf to discuss boosting cooperation in transportation, infrastructure and industry. Al-Wazir emphasized Egypt's commitment to supporting African development and regional connectivity, while Diouf praised Egypt's mega projects and expressed Gambia's interest in Egyptian expertise. Both sides agreed to develop a joint action plan to deepen collaboration. Well, that brings us to the end of our news bulletin for this hour. Here is a quick recap of today's Egyptian bulletin. President Sisi and First Lady host a dinner at the pyramids for Spain's King Philip VI and Queen Letizia during the state visit. At Egypt-Spain Business Forum, King Philip VI highlights strong partnership and over 60 Spanish firms active in Egypt, boosting trade and developments. And Egypt and Spain launch groundbreaking partnership for development agreement for 2025-2030, marking first major cooperation initiative. on that. So for now, remember to stay updated by following Qnews for the latest developments. Many thanks for watching.